The VCT 2026 season is finally starting and I'm really excited. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go region by region and do power rankings and then um, the pick'ems for kickoff, while the power rankings are just for the entire year, and then the pick'ems obviously just for kickoff. And we're gonna do these separately by each region, starting with Americas today, since Americas is gonna start at the 15th of January. It's the first region to start, and so today we're gonna do the power rankings, and then tomorrow the pick'ems for VCT Americas, and then the other regions in the next couple of days will be following. So let's get right into the power rankings for VCT Americas 2026. So here we are, and first we're gonna start off with 100 Thieves. Now 100 Thieves, they kept Cryo and Asuna and got Bang from Sentinels, and Vora and Timotino for EU, Xander, and Bustio. And Vora and Timotino, they got them from TSM in Tier 2. And I would say overall it's kind of a side grade in my opinion. Like it's for sure not a bad roster, but I wouldn't say that they're gonna be really good this year. I think they're gonna be middle of the pack. They're gonna make playoffs at times, and will be competing to maybe get some upset wins in playoffs. Maybe they're not gonna make playoffs all the time. That's kind of where I see them, and especially with the two rookies, you don't know how well they will do, especially with Vora being the IGL. And even though the other three players, Cryo and Asuna, as well as Bang, have been proven to be really good, I'm kind of a bit hesitant to be really confident with this team. So I would probably put them somewhere B or C tier. I'm not quite sure yet. We'll kind of have to wait and see with other teams where I would put them. So yeah, for the moment, I'm gonna put them in B tier. The next team on the list is C9, and C9 kept Zappa, Vic, Oxy from last year. Then they got Celsius from Sentinels for Net, and Penny for Mitch, who was like more or less a free agent. In the end, he was playing for Apex before he was standing with Team Liquid. I think Penny is for sure an upgrade, and Celsius is kind of also a side grade to Mitch. But I would say he is like obviously he's a big vibes guy, and I think in terms of that he might be adding more, even though just from his gameplay, um, just gameplay wise, he is more like a side grade. But you never know what the IGLs do, um, that we don't see on screen, right? And I'm also not quite sure, since it's Celsius' first time being the IGL. Obviously, he did shot calling with Sentinels, and he was a lot of their out of game leader. Um, so that part shouldn't be new to him, but being an IGL is new to him. So because of that, I'm a bit wary of C9, but I would say overall I'm putting them B tier for sure. I see them above 100 Thieves for sure, and they're for me a team that should make all the playoffs, and they can take some wins off of the teams that will make internationals, but I don't quite think that they will make an international, although they'll be trying to, and will be competing for like the few spots after the teams that will make the playoffs. Next up, we got EG, and EG has kept Superman. Then they added Com for Icy. I mean, it's not very specific, but they added Com, DG Zin, Okeanos, and Bao for Icy, Derek, Nature, and Yay. I think DG Zin has been really insane in Tier 2 always, and it's good to have him back in the league. But yeah, he's not really confident in with speaking in English. He's still learning that, as we've heard from interviews. And so because of that, I don't know how strong they are gonna be at the beginning. Okeanos has been really good last year at Lev, and also Com is a known quantity, and I think Com with Potter back at EG again, they're gonna cook some uh, with some set round strats, and yeah, just in general with strats, these two. And then Bao has also been great Tier 2 player. So for EG, I would be like decently optimistic with this team. I wouldn't say that they're for sure gonna make playoffs, but they're gonna be trying to get there and will be a decent team at least. I'm putting them C tier for now, and I think I'm actually putting 100 Thieves in C tier 2, but above EG. Next up we got Envy, and they're obviously the Ascension team. They just ascended, and they're keeping they're keeping as much of their roster as they can. They're keeping Poppin, Inspire, and Extra. Kane and Ion are not 18 yet. Kane is gonna be 18 at some point this year, but they've already said that he's not gonna step in once he's 18, since it's only gonna be at some point during stage 2, and by then it's probably better for the team if they can just focus on other players, and Ion is not gonna be 18 at all during any part of this year. So these two are sadly out, and Kesnet and Rossi are stepping in. I think with Kesnet and Rossi, they got kind of the best free agents that they could have gotten, especially Kesnet. I think he's the closest you could have gotten to Kane's playstyle, as that being like a very, very aggressive player. And yeah, overall, I think the problem is that Kane and Ion are like, they are the identity of Envy, or what was Rankers beforehand. They made this team so much into what it was, and because of them, this team was so good. And I think that's gonna be missing a lot with these two not being 18. And so with Kesnet, I don't see it being a problem in terms of the playstyle. I just don't know whether he's gonna be as good when it comes to just his gunplay, because, or just his gameplay in general, because last year we saw him with crew having a really hard time. So I don't know how good he's gonna be. And Rossi, I think he's a good fit, but overall this team, it's not gonna look the same way that Envy looked during Ascension. But I would put them above EG. I don't know whether I would put 100 Thieves or Envy higher. They're a bit interchangeable in my opinion. But yeah, that's kind of where I would have Envy. Next up I have, wait, it's not the right way around. Next up is Furia. And Furia has gone for kind of an A roster, getting rid of their entire squad that they had, picking up Nerf, EU from 100 Thieves, Elim, Koala Noob from Natus Vincere, and Artisan from MIBR. I think overall it's a decent team, but they don't seem to be really trying to stay in tier 1, if that makes sense. Like it seems a bit like they checked out. I'm gonna put this team in D tier. It's not as horrible as last year's Furia was. They're gonna be at least decent, right? Every team in Americas, I think, is at least decent. But yeah, I don't have any hopes for this team. I still think they're gonna lose the majority of their games. Next up, we have G2. They kept the majority of their roster in Valorant, Leaf, and Jog, and then they added Baby Bay instead of Jonah P. Now, in my opinion, this roster move doesn't make any sense. G2 was so successful last year, at least regionally. They won everything in VCT Americas, and while they didn't make it super deep in any of the internationals, I still think overall their year was a success, and I think overall they should have tried to run it back, and I don't know why they didn't. But yeah, I guess they hope that Baby Bay can give them some stability, maybe outside of game, because I think gameplay wise Jonah P is better. But yeah, I'm not as high up on G2 as I was last year, putting them in A tier. Yeah, a bit confusing to me, that move, but they're still gonna be really decent, and they will be trying to make every international at least. Then next up we got Crew, who consists now of Sadak, Les, Mzera, Silence, and Dantedeus. I think for this team, I think it's a bit of a redemption year for a couple of these players. Mzera had a good year last year, and Silence had a very decent year for being on a really bad team in 2G. But for Sadak and Les, it's going to be a redemption year, since Sadak had a bad year on KC, and Les didn't have as great of a year as he would have wanted on Vitality. And I also think with Dante, we were expecting more of him than we got. He was really hyped up, but then wasn't quite able to deliver on it. And so, yeah, they'll be trying to get some redemption in. But I can't say that I'm really high on this team. I think they're gonna be, again, also in this group of teams, they're gonna be decent, but they're not gonna be really good. I think I'm gonna put them between 100 Thieves and Envy. These teams are so hard for me to really rate. I think they're all around same in strength, really. But yeah, next up we've got Lev, and I'm really hyped for Lev. They're keeping Sato and King from last year. Then they got Spike coming in from 2G, who was their star player. They've got Blows coming in, who's been a really hyped tier 2 player, and Neon coming in, for whom you can say the same as Blows. And I would say even more so than Blows. Neon is really, really good player from what I've seen, and I really look forward to seeing him play in tier 1. And overall, this is a really young team. Only King has really a lot of experience, and this should be a really high firepower team. And yeah, the only slight issue I would say is Neon only turns 18 about like halfway through kickoff. So they're gonna be playing with a stand-in with PXS. but yeah, I'm gonna rate them based off of how I think the year's gonna go. And yeah, as I said, I'm really hyped for this team. I'm putting them in A tier. I think they could end up having a better year than G2 even. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to this team. It's probably my favorite team out of the Americas region, at least the team that I look forward to seeing their development the most. Then next up, we've got Loud, and Loud are keeping Pankada, Verti, Kawa, and Luxo, but are changing Robbie BK for Darker. Overall, I think this is an okay move. I didn't understand the Robbie BK IGLing bit. I couldn't quite get behind it. It never made much sense to me. So I think it's better with Pankada calling, even though he doesn't have any experience. I think this is still a bit of an upgrade for this team, but overall this team should still be at the bottom of NA. And yeah, right now I would probably say that they're bottom 2 with Furia. And yeah, I think they're gonna be, as I said before, all these teams look decent, and right, these two teams, Crew and Loud and Furia, could for sure beat any of these C tier teams. But yeah, we'll kind of have to wait and see. Then next up, we've got MIBR, and MIBR are going with Verno and Aspas from last year. They've obviously been really good. Then they added in Zekken from Sentinels, Mazzino from Crew, and Tex from Lev. And this has been a banger of season by MIBR, going and making the move to get Zekken, even though he's not gonna be playing duelist and he's gonna be smoking. I don't see any problem with it. I think Zekken is talented enough that he can play any role. Mazzino and Tex, they've already played with Aspas. So overall, I am really looking forward to this team as well. They have a lot of firepower potentially, with Verno, Aspas, and Zekken, and also Mazzino at times. And Tex being a great facilitator who has already played with Aspas. So yeah, I think this team is gonna work out really well. And even though it's a super team, I don't see this team really flopping. Like, for example, Zekken, I don't see him as being a guy who has like a huge ego, where it's not gonna work out with the team. So yeah, I think also vibe-wise, this team should fit well together. So I'm putting MIBR in S tier. Then next up with NRG, they're keeping the same squad. The main four, Ethan, Scuba, Mada, and Brock. Some obviously retired, and they brought in the best replacement that they could have gotten in Kiko. He was probably the best smoker of the entirety of 2025. So that's a huge pickup. It's kind of a side grade though, right? You can't argue that the world champs are getting an upgrade really. But maybe in-game wise it is actually an upgrade with Kiko, also because he's able to play duelists. But yeah, the out of game stuff, from some, I don't think you can really diminish that. I think he did a lot of things for this team that maybe will be missing later on for this team. But yeah, overall, NRG, they should be the favorites within VCT Americas. They should be the best team. They're looking like it, in terms of the names and the accomplishments of last season. So yeah, NRG easy. S-tier team. And then lastly, Sentinels. They're keeping John, QT, and Narrate, with Narrate swapping over to the duelist position. And then they add in Caillou, Cortesia, and Redux. Caillou and Redux from Qbert Academy, and Cortesia from MIBR. And yeah, they've been waiting to get Redux into their tier 1 team. He's now 18, so he's eligible, and they're obviously picking him up. Overall, for this team, I think the expectations should be lower than last year, where they made every international. I really don't know about the decision to put Narrate on Duelist. I'm really not convinced that this is gonna work out. And while I think that Redux is a really good player, um, I don't know. I also don't know how well it's gonna work with Caillou being the main caller, the IGL now, and John QT stepping back from being the IGL. And yeah, all of that kind of in total, with also Cortesia having a really good year on MIBR. I don't know whether he's going to be able to replicate it. Because of all of that, I'm putting Sentinels in B tier. I don't know. I think I'm actually putting them below C9 just because I don't know whether, like, what they're going to be able to do. So yeah, I think these are my power rankings. That's what I'm gonna stick with. Yeah, as I've said before, these were the power rankings for Americas. Tomorrow there'll be the pick'ems for kickoff. Power rankings were for the whole year, obviously. And yeah, I'll catch you guys next time.